one of the things that we wanted to show you guys is that a tree like this, if you walk up to a tree like this with a set of climbing sticks, unless you take the time to modify your sticks and put some really long ropes on it, most sticks won't make it around this.
My mods on my sticks, I have 12 feet of 8 mil accessory line. I ain't fitting around that tree.
And that's, I think this type of the DRT method, it really shines on a tree like this. Plus they're a little bit easier to get into just because you have, you know, so many nice limbs and everything. So, but it's reasonably quiet. Scott and I were saying that, you know, sometimes when you throw your throw ball up at a tree, you know, if it's early in the season and you got leaves and you hear some leaves rustling, it's not really an unnatural sound. It's probably very similar to what you hear with squirrels and stuff. Also, a couple guys brought up some questions about throwing, when you're climbing with the rope, the sounds that the rope makes going over the bark. And I guess that would differ depending on the type of tree it is. Maybe like a cherry, something more shaggy.
Cherry, shagbark, hickory.
They're going to be a little bit more noisy sometimes. If you're, you know, if you're into like a beach.
I mean, I normally stay away from those trees anyhow. And, you know, unless you absolutely positively have to get into that tree, that's the killing tree. And you got to deal with the noise. There's really no way around it.
You'd have to deal with that no matter what, though. So, you know, but the sound that it makes, I think for the most part, the sound that the rope would make would almost, you know, kind of sound like a squirrel running around a tree. Sometimes they make a lot of noise going around the tree, so it's not totally unnatural.
Yeah, natural noise, I'm, you know, I don't get that concerned about. Like the same thing when I pull my rope through a limb and it snaps a limb, or you know, you get a rustling of the leaves. And to me, that's a natural sound. It's no different, you know, from, like I said, squirrels running up and down a tree. I mean, same thing when a deer comes in contact with a sapling, starts rubbing a sapling, and it makes a lot of noise. So I think that kind of a noise in the woods is a natural sound. So
that stuff you can get away with. I think it's the clanking of metal.
Metal, yeah.
That would be an issue.
Yeah, that's definitely unnatural.
We had a couple of guys that brought up some good points about SRT. I've never personally done SRT, and it probably is physically easier to do.
Oh, it's definitely physically easier. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But you know, now you're talking about, I mean, I threw a rope, you know, throw ball over a limb, pull my rope over. I mean, you could climb with a carabiner, without, just tied directly to your bridge. That's up to you. But basically, that's it. SRT. A lot of guys are using the rope wrench. With I'm trying to think the name of the pulley. There's actually 3 attachment points on the pulley. Hitch climber pulley, I think they call it, or something like that. So there's 2, plus another micro pulley, and some Prusik cord to tie your hitch.
There's a lot more going on, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I don't climb SRT, so, but I think it's 3 or 4 more pieces of equipment that you need on that rig. Hey, like I said, it works for you. That's great.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'm all for easy too, you know. But it just, like I said in my post, it just never really appealed to me. I guess I'm kind of old school. You know, I've learned on DRT, and I kind of stuck with it through the years, just because it was effective for me, and it was also easy. It was simple. I didn't have to have all the other gear in my bag or on my saddle or whatever.
Expense.
Plus the expense, sure. That's another.
This is kind of a little bit more minimalist.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the things I want to say, you know, in posting our last video, there was a lot of conversations with guys. And don't want to give anybody the impression that we're trying to convince you that this is the ultimate way to go.
No.
We like it, and
this
it
is
has
what works for us.
Yeah, and it has its niche. You know,
simple.
It's not. I don't think it's really it's not the perfect method for every tree in every situation, every circumstance. It's just certain. You know, it can be used in a wider range of trees and circumstances, and in some things like this, I mean, this is, I think, climbing this type of setup, you would have to go to DRT or SRT.
Right.
And if you don't have all the material for SRT, I mean, naturally you'd have to have the material for DRT also, the rope, but all you need is, you could literally get away with just the rope. you wouldn't even need carabiner.
Throw
You need
ball
your
and the rope.
right throw ball, throw line.
I mean, some guys,
rope, and
and
your saddle.
myself included, I can throw just my climbing line, make what's called a monkey's fist, which just kind of takes the weight, place of this, and I can throw it 30 feet in a tree and get it over a rope. So in some situations, I don't even need a throw ball, but throw ball is definitely easier. I mean, once you learn it, it's definitely easier.
It's obviously a little easier for a guy who's got 30 years of experience.
Yeah, sure.
It's cake for him now. I'm on the learning curve, but
right, and that's all it is. It's practice. If you took just a throw ball and went out into the woods and just said, you know what, I'm going to throw into 5 or 10 different trees today, and just kind of practice. And the thing is too, is just practice with a limb 10 feet, until you can throw that effectively at a 10-foot limb. And try a 15-foot limb, then try a 20-foot limb. Here's like with anything, it's just timing, and when you let go of the throw ball, it's actually, as far as aiming it goes. One other thing too, I wanted to just show you guys, because I didn't show it in the other video. Attaching, all I do is, I just make a loop, just tie a loop in the tail end of your fly line, your throw line, whatever you want to call this, and just basically feed it through the eye, and take the loop and go over the bag. Well, that's it. That's how you attach your throw ball. And the same thing if you want to take it off. Same thing, you take that loop, go back over the bag the way you did in the beginning. It's just simple, so you're not tying a knot and have to untie a knot. And the other thing is too, I also want to show you, is how I throw it. Like I said, lots of guys use different techniques, whatever they're used to. All I do is I just take a bite of line and I go right back through the ring, and basically that's it. So this sits on my finger, my forefinger, sometimes 2 fingers, whatever. So take that, feed the line over. So basically that's it. So when you throw that up, when that goes up in the air, that just pulls right out through as it goes over the limb, comes down the other side. Instead of tying a knot, an actual knot with a loop in here, I know some guys do that, but that could get snagged going over a limb. It could be a little spur on the limb, friggin' hooks on that.
Could you get away with just taking this thing, and having your line there, and if you're only going 20, 30 feet up.
Yeah, you could. Sure, absolutely. You could toss it like a baseball. I guess, for all intents and purposes, sure. Why not?
I guess it's whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you, really. Like I
was thinking about getting like a good, strong slingshot to just push it up,
Yeah, that's 14 ounces, though. Yeah. I don't think it's going to go too far, but like that, whatever works for you. And the thing is, too, if a limb is 8 to 10 feet off the ground and you want to get higher, once you're up in the tree, take your lineman's belt, go around the tree so you're secure, and then you could take your climbing line and just throw it up over the next limb.
Yeah, you could adjust.
You can adjust. That's the thing with climbing. You can climb any limb in this tree. Just remember when you come down, if you're over 30, 35 feet, when you come down, you're going to run out of rope.
Remember where you were.
Yeah, remember where you were. So when you come down, you don't get no accidental surprise. Other than that, that's it.
The other thing I wanted to say is a lot of guys with the last video that we posted, they tried the method. There was this one guy in particular who tried the method, and he said, man, that sucks, and he's done SRT, and SRT is easier for him. And I would expect that SRT, if you got the equipment and everything, I never did it, but it's probably going to be easier for anybody.
SRT is more, your power is coming from your legs when you're climbing. You got to have somewhat of, good, pretty strong core as well, too, but your power is in your legs. Your legs are always going to be stronger than your arms any day of the week. But, yeah, SRT is climbing, it's almost like walking a set of stairs. Pretty much what these guys tell me, that's how easy it is. It's like walking up a set of stairs, because actually you're walking up the rope. That's what you're doing. So it's definitely easier than pulling yourself. Like I said, with this, it's a technique. When you hip thrust, it's all about timing. So as you're pulling down on that rope, you're thrusting your hips up. And once you get that, you sync those two together.
Yeah.
And it's fairly easy because you're not just pulling your dead body weight up over a limb.
That's
you know,
the
even
thing.
I'm not doing that. Right? That's just too hard.
That's the thing that I think guys who are either intimidated, or even if you try it for the first time. I know the first time I tried it, I wasn't getting the point of like utilizing my legs against the tree and
You have
hip
to have
thrusting.
your body weight out.
It's kind of it's a technique where you got to get your timing. You're using the mechanical advantage of the rope going over top of the limb and coming back down through the friction knot where it's kind of up and over, hold it, up and over, hold it. And once you get that timing and you get the technique, it's really not difficult. It may be more difficult than climbing SRT, but like I said, you could utilize it without having to buy all the stuff, and you could just weigh your options and see what works best for you. But you know, this is something that it's a method that you could utilize, and in certain instances, it might be a great tool in your arsenal. So give it a try, see what you think.